Yes. I have no idea what you're all talking about, by the way. DJ Error. I don't know what you're talking about, innit? LB was literally listening to the tunes then going, hey, yo, they sound fine. And I can't hear the tunes, by the way.
I don't know what they're going on about, innit? Well, that's to listen back to it, bro. I listened to it then and it sounded fine, but...
Oh, wait.
What's up, bro?
Are we in the bin?
Are we in the bin? What do you mean we're in the bin? Bro, listen, I was listening to it then, it was fine. I don't know, innit? It's looking for me. It's working for me, bro.
Can't hear you people say it's fine. No, wrong.
It's fine,
right,
bro. I'm listening to it now.
I've just listened back as well, and we are fine. Right.
People do it all the time, man. They just check shit, innit?
I was like, the fuck?
Yeah. Right. Well, let's get into it, man. I'm wasting time. Fucking hell. First of all, just a rapid thing. Obviously, Tottenham in the mud. They got beat 1-0. Facing Milan in the Champions League.
Oh, and, yeah. Ex City boy, innit?
Yeah. Brahim. And PSG also lost 1-0 at home as well to Bayern Munich, which is a bit of a madness. So yeah, Champions League night in full force there. Some decent results, and obviously Tottenham getting beat. That's pretty funny. Everyone seems to beat them at the moment, apart from us. Bit disappointing.
That makes it worse, though.
I know it does make it worse. Yeah, it does make it worse. Funny, but worse for us. That's basically where we're at. Right, let's get into it. We've got loads to get through, and I think we're going to be interrupted in 8 minutes' time for the press conference comments.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to get into this before they get into it. So loads to talk about. Obviously, I think where we should start off with this game tomorrow night. We all know it's the biggest game of the season. I think we should start off in defence, because for me, that's the main issue right now. The defence obviously switched it up massively for the game against Aston Villa. We saw a back three of Kyle Walker, Diaz, and Laporte, with sort of Bernardo Silva playing in a left back / inverted / wherever the guy wants to go. I've seen his heat map before. Guy wasn't nailed down to one particular spot. And this is the big debate: is who should start in defence tomorrow? And for me, I think if it was me personally, I'd make one change. I'd keep Walker, I'd keep Diaz, I'd keep Laporte, but I would change Bernardo Silva at left back for Nathan Ake. As I said, I went on AFTV yesterday, and they said there's only one game this season. This is Arsenal fans saying this is only one game this season that Saka has been pocketed, according to them, and that was against City when Nathan Ake played left back. So in my opinion, I think it would be daft not to play Nathan Ake, and I'd just go for that flat back four and just basically make sure that we are solid at the back. Because remember, we all want to win, but a draw's not the end of the world. It's really not. It's not the worst result for us.
It's not the end of the world. It would be nice to win and go top. It would be nice, but. Like you say, it's not the end of the world. And I think, we spoke about this before. Everyone knows our situation on this. We both completely agree in the fact that Ake should be playing in this game. And we both basically, for me, bro, it's the exact same team, just Ake. That's it. The exact same team. Exact same front line, exact same mid, exact same back four, other than Bernardo Silva.
Well, I think defensively for me, obviously that's where we're at now. I think we've got to go back to Ake at left back. Like I say, he pocketed Saka, did really, really well. Saka was a ghost in that game. He really was. Kyle Walker started a couple of games now since he's been back for his injury. I think he's playing mint. And I'm sorry, you've just got to keep Diaz and Laporte in that centre sort of position. They are by far the two best available out of Akanji and Ake and all the rest. So they have to play in the middle for me.
There's absolutely no questions who plays in the middle. There's no questions, bro. There's not even a shout for anyone else. It's Diaz and Laporte. There is no shout for another player. I want no one in here saying Akanji. I want no one in here saying Ake. Ain't happening. Ain't happening, or it shouldn't be happening. For me, it has to be Diaz Laporte.
No, completely agree. That get them two in defence. Ake on the left, Walker on the right. Yes, okay. The wing backs are not going to offer mega support, but it should be a pretty open game anyway. You know what I mean? I don't think Arsenal are going to sit on the edge of the penalty area, so it's not a game where I really think you need mega creativity from your fullbacks. I think if you can keep Martinelli quiet and you can keep Saka quiet, I struggle to see really where they're gonna create from. Odegaard's been quiet the last couple of games. Obviously, we know he's a
but
threat,
that does stink of him.
No, I know. But obviously, if you're taking the two fullbacks, if you're taking the two wingers out of the game, which I think Walker can pocket Martinelli and I think Ake can pocket Saka, then realistically, you're only looking at Odegaard. Because Xhaka's more of like, he don't really create that much.
I think Martinelli versus Walker will be a decent one to watch. That I think it will be interesting to see if obviously Martinelli will be backing himself to get the better of Walker, and we'd be backing or Trossard obviously, we've just got to back Walker to do bits there. I think it makes sense to play Walker because of his defensive ability, and he ain't the best at going forward, but he was trying some long balls, some switch pass against Villa, and they weren't the worst pass I've ever seen in my life. So I rate it, me. I rate it. I'm fine for Walker playing in that role. Tanner, mate, Walker was getting smoked by Martinelli in the short time he was on in the FA Cup. I agree with you there. However, I would say Walker is looking a lot better now. Like he's looking more fit. He's looking better. So hopefully he doesn't see the same fate, because he was getting dusted in the FA Cup. But that's because Martinelli's good, man. Martinelli's a good player, but we just got to hope that he can get better of him. And I like you say, on the other side with Ake, hopefully he keeps Saka quiet again.
Yeah. No, 100% agree. So that's the defence. I think obviously Rodri plays in midfield much better against Aston Villa than the game week before against Spurs. Then there's a big question. There's a big question mark. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is going to start this game. I thought he looked a lot better against Aston Villa. He looked sharper, fitter, which was good to see. But if we're not playing Bernardo at left back, there's then a big question mark about who you play in midfield. And I don't think this is a simple one, because you've got Ilkay Gundogan, who's better at creating chances and getting goals. But you've got Bernardo Silva, who has got that energy, work rate, which sometimes you require in the big game. So I think this is a really, really tricky one.
Yeah. This is a disgusting one, this one, bro. Because my head tells me Gundo. My head is screaming Gundogan at me.
But your heart says Bernardo.
Yeah, there's a part of me that thinks Bernardo, because I like the energy. I can see arguments for both sides. I'm thinking more of transitional phases going forward. I think Gundo's very good at transitioning on the ball. Like, man can turn on the ball and drive forward kind of thing. I'd kind of want that. I think if Bernardo was to play, I think he'd end up sitting very deep.
Well, it depends what defence he played.
Yeah,
I think if he played Laporte and Diaz,
he wouldn't have to sit deep if that was the case. I just imagine him getting about and that, especially with the switches of his positions in the last two games. I think it's got to be Gundo. I think it has to be Gundo, personally. My vote is with Gundo. I can see arguments for both sides, though. My head just says Gundo. So there's something in my head feels safer with Gundogan there.
Man, it's a really, really tricky one. I think, obviously, you look at their midfield, it's going to be Partey, Xhaka and Odegaard, right? So, obviously, I think Partey will just be probably focused mainly on De Bruyne, I would sort of imagine. But I just think that, again, in transition, it might be an open game. It could be a game where we win the ball in midfield. We turn around, look at the defence, and Haaland's making a run, and it might be that quick pass that you need to get him in behind.
Yeah, and Bernardo don't have that, innit?
Bernardo doesn't have that in his locker. So I think that, again, for me, I probably would be looking at Ilkay Gundogan in this game. I think, again, because we have one game against Villa, which we did well in the first half, but we've not been creating chances of late. And I think that for me, I think you've still got to have a focus on chance creation. It's very, very difficult. I think Bernardo Silva would help you a little bit more defensively. But one thing that I would say on that is that if you're playing Ake, Laporte, Diaz and Walker, I think you can kind of relax a little bit more with the fact that you've not got Bernardo in there. I think if you're playing more of a weaker defence, say you're playing Rico Lewis, Akanji, Ake and Gomez, for example, I think that you might look at that and go, okay, we might need a little bit of extra protection, a little bit more energy in there. So maybe go Bernardo. But if you're going to go for that strong defence, which surely he has to do, I'd be astonished if he doesn't, then I think you can chill out a little bit and maybe go for Gundogan and just get that that little bit extra chance creation which he offers, which unfortunately Bernardo Silva doesn't. So for me, I go with you. I go with the chat here on the poll. I go for Ilkay Gundogan.
Yeah, obviously the chat's coming at 69%, 69. I think that's the smartest move. I think that's the smartest move in this, because we know Kev should be playing, and we know Rodri will be playing. So that's the only position in that which obviously it's for debate in that. Front three then. I'm set with I'm Jack Grealish left, Riyad Mahrez right, Erling Haaland up top if fit. If fit is a big one. Is the big question. He threw doubts on that. Maybe Pep can clarify in this in embargo, innit?
Yeah, no, for sure. Look, I put a poll in the chat there to see what people think about whether or not they think Phil Foden should get in the front three.
I agree. But for me,
I think it's difficult for him to come straight back in. I think Grealish has been doing well recently. Haaland, obviously, if he's fit, he has to play, and if he doesn't, surely he has to play Alvarez. And Riyad Mahrez has been firing in the goals and assists in the last month or two as well. So it's difficult for Phil Foden just to walk straight back into this team. I think, unfortunately for him, I think he's going to have to work really hard to get himself back into this side. So for me, yeah, I agree. I think, and it looks like the chat agree with this as well, 73% of the people in the stream right now think that Foden should not start in the front three tomorrow. Only 27% of people would put him in.
I agree. He didn't look good when he came on the other day. He needs more minutes. He needs more minutes to be starting. So, and as well, I think if tomorrow goes the way I think it'll be and be quite an open game, I don't imagine Arsenal sitting back. They'll go for it, man. They'll go for it. We'll go for it. That's the way it should be. Anyway, that's why I'd like to imagine it'd be. I think there'd be a lot of space, which could, do you know what I mean? Basically, it could work favours in both sides, really, because we both play similar styles, or did some play similar styles. I think Jack Grealish could have a really good game. I don't want to jinx that, but I think he could thrive tomorrow in the pace of the game. I think it might suit him.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think something that I thoroughly believe is that in the more open games, Jack Grealish is more effective.
Yeah, I mean, the United game, which everyone said that he had a sick game in, it was a very open match.
Yeah, I think that's where he thrives. And as well, I think that if you play him and Mahrez, because obviously Arsenal are a team that have possession of the ball and they will likely have large periods of possession. I think if you get Mahrez and Grealish on there, who can hold position high up in the opposition's at like their third, basically their defensive third, our attacking third, I think again that will just help us, So yeah, for me, unlucky Foden. He's got to work his way back in there. But look, this is a tough time at the moment, probably for Foden. He needs to work hard and get himself back into that team. But yeah, that's the team for me. Let's have a look at these super chats that have come in. Simpad, yes, bro, member for 3. Says hi, yes. Yesterday, 3 students were shot dead at Michigan State unit and 5 are currently in the hospital in critical condition.
That's fucked.
Pray for them and their family. Yeah, bro. Yeah, prayers going out to all of them guys, man. Sad situation there, bro. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. Off Meta with a 5 says, if Arsenal want to press and try to go at City at home, I think Gundogan is the better choice as he has the ability to pick a pass in behind Haaland. I agree, man. I agree with that. I think that again tomorrow might be a ball where, listen, maybe Gabriel or Saliba tries to play a ball into the midfield and we intercept it, and then we can turn on it and spin. And Haaland's making a running. You need players who know how to get the ball in behind.
Look at the pace that Haaland showed against Villa. Right, it's unpredictable pace where he could be with the back line 1 second and be rapid in front. If he's making a ball, if he's making a run in behind, I'm just begging to see them balls put in. And the thing is, they can be overhit a bit. They can be overhit a bit because he's got that pace.
Yeah.
So I allow it, man. And I think having Gundo and Kev, both of them will be able to throw those passes about. I think that's going to help us. That.
Yeah. No, completely agree, man. Completely agree. Right, we've got the embargoed comments coming out of the press conference now. Let's go through some of these comments. Pep Guardiola speaking about the Premier League. He says this. He said the biggest motivation is I don't want to drop the Premier League just because we are not who we are. Now, if they beat us because they're better, it's sport. I'll be the first to congratulate them. I always have done. but not because we were not there. So, and this is the thing, obviously, with City this season, unfortunately. Yes, okay, Arsenal probably deserve to be top of the table. They've been very good. And obviously, the first half of the season, they drew 2 and lost 1 game. So they did deserve to be top, but we made them a lot clearer at the top than really should have been. We've let ourselves down in many games.
Yeah, they've stayed at such a distance because we've not capitalised when they've dropped points. Mm-hmm. So we've almost shot ourselves in the foot in this title race at times because and I get other teams are good, you know what I mean? And you can't win everything, but sometimes like they'll drop points and we'll put out a shit performance kind of thing where you think a better performance there, and maybe if the players realise, you know what I mean, at that time the way this could go, that a better performance in them games and we win them games, and that's the only frustrating thing for me. The amount of times that we say missed opportunity. All the missed opportunities that we've had to catch Arsenal sooner than what, obviously now. Yeah, I think this could have been a different story going into this game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so that's absolutely the only thing, man.
I guess the only good thing is that despite all them missed opportunities, we can still go top of the table tomorrow with a win. So it's pretty bizarre how it's worked out.
It's weird that should not be a sentence. That should not be a storyline going into this game. The storyline for this game should have been that we get to gain points on Arsenal. That should have been it. Not we can go top.
Yeah.
We've been playing shit and we can go top.
It's
Football
really difficult.
Is so crazy, man.
Yeah, it is. Pep Guardiola was then asked a series of questions about Zinchenko, obviously making a £35 million move from City to Arsenal in the summer. He was asked about his mentality and he said, sometimes there are circumstances, injuries, the way we play with a fullback. He took the opportunity like his last chance in the world. That means he's a good player and has a good mindset. In the end, Mikel Arteta knows him pretty well because he worked with him. We worked together and he believed he needed this piece to make the process, especially the build-up, a little bit better. Everyone is in love with Zinchenko at Man City. He was an important figure in the club. What I like most about Alex in the first years, we maybe wanted him to move him from here because we thought he wasn't going to play much. But he said, no, I want to fight for my position. I said, Alex, it's difficult. I have many players in your position. He said, no, I'm going to play here. He trained really well, never had a bad face, aspiring when he plays, always had a good behaviour. Normally when you don't play, you don't say you're going to play and say, I don't want to do it. But he was completely the opposite. I saw him in the gym working. He did extra workouts. So again, I mean, the dedication from Zinchenko, top player, top professional. I got no issues with him. And you know what? If it is Arsenal that lift the title at the end of the season, I'll be happy to see Zinchenko lift that trophy, man, because he's a top player, top guy, and just a nice situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice from Pep to say that, but also it feels like he's rubbing it in. Like we get it, Pep. He's good, man. Like we miss him. We want him back. But it is what it is, and maybe there is a bit of slight there at the board kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Well, 100%.
Sold him in player, didn't replace him for it. Like
100%. I mean, we've gone over this time and time again, but it was embarrassing what happened in the summer, to be honest with you, in that situation. Pep was then asked again about the Premier League and the title race. He said, if you want the title, okay, you've got to fight it to take it from our hands. It's still in our hands, so we'll defend this title until the last day. That's what I'd like to do, to fight who we are at maximum. I want to do that to retain the title. And if it doesn't happen, the other team was better. When that happens, you got to accept it and improve, not because we didn't do it or give up or didn't do our best. This is what we fight for every day with my players. Let them feel what we have to be. And this is kind of what I've said. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want us just to hand Arsenal the title. You know what I mean? If Arsenal win it, I want Arsenal to have earned it, not because City were just shit and they win it. You know, City end up on like 70 points when we've been hitting 90, 92, 100 points recently. I want them to proper earn it. And then when Arsenal fans say, we beat you, I can be like, yeah, you know what? Fair dues, you actually deserved it. Not because I'm sat there going, you only won it because City was shit. You know what I mean? So this is the thing. I want City to put up a big fight for this and really, really push Arsenal all the way. And, you know, it seems like based on what's gone on over the last week and the sort of spirit and the siege mentality that's coming out and all that and the first half performance that maybe we are going to properly fight for this. But, you know, we did it for 45 minutes. You know, you're going to have to do it for a lot more minutes than that for the rest of the season to go on and win this title.
Arsenal learned the 45-minute thing last year in the City game, didn't they? They had a sick 45 minutes. Should have put us to bed, really, in that game. But then obviously we went on and won it. And that's because the second half performance from Arsenal last season at the Emirates dipped. And obviously we did get a last-minute winner on that. But you don't win a game in 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. So that's what. So I think that's something that we do need to see from City, and I think that's why I think you a bit more so than me. We were a bit frustrated in the Villa game in the second half because we don't know if we can do that for consistently 45 minutes, and that was a good time to kind of see if we could keep that performance level up. But obviously, we kind of just went game management mode after half time.
Yeah. No, completely agree. He said this on the City players. He said they are now more focused, all of them. Even in the exercises, sometimes the talks, their faces, they were distracted, whatever. But now everyone is more focused. This is my feeling. So again, there's been a lot of talk this week about whether or not this has galvanised the players. And Pep Guardiola is saying that it is.
He seems to be happy with everyone. Do you know what I mean? He's not complaining about no smiley faces. Everyone must be smiling in training, bro. Everyone bare happy, innit?
Yeah. He said this, he says, now we've got the Champions League, the UEFA League, the FA Cup round the corner this week and next week. That's why I have the feeling the next 8 or 10 games are going to decide who wins the title. In that moment, you've got to try and be there, make the last effort to achieve it. And that's obviously a good point. Arsenal got the Europa League, City got the Champions League, and we also have the FA Cup thrown in there as well. Arsenal, obviously not in that as we beat them. But this is a really big period of the season. I mean, I guess you could say that any period of the season, really, but I just feel like if City can get the nose ahead and get clear by 3 or 4 points in the next couple of weeks, which is entirely possible, I think we'll just go on and win it. But yeah, that has to start tomorrow, man. I mean, that has to start tomorrow. If we get the win tomorrow and we can really kick on, then I'll be so confident if we can get a couple of wins on the bounce. But it's all good. All this talk is good. It's nice to see. You know what I mean? Pep Guardiola coming out in the press conference last week, buzzing, defending our club. He's doing it again today. He's saying the players are at it. We had a good 45 minutes performance. But ultimately, titles are not won in press conferences. Titles are not won off videos on YouTube. Titles are won on what the players do on the football pitch. And we've seen in the first 45 minutes against Villa that they put in a decent performance. But this is where it matters now.
Yeah,
Can these players really know what they're made of tomorrow night?
These are the games where we need to be doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like these are the games where we need to be doing it, and especially when you've got the opportunity on the lines to go top. I hope that's got like some part to play in this. Like they need to know that this is a massive opportunity. The only thing for me is if we do end up losing, because that is there is a big possibility that we lose this game. Arsenal are a very good side. It feels like a setback in this kind of good momentum in the camp that we have over the last week.
And that's why I say that words in press conferences mean jack shit, really. Yeah. I mean, they can get you up for it. They can be like, yeah, we're up for it. Obviously, Pep Guardiola did in the press conference the other day and defending the club, and everyone was buzzing, and everyone was ready to go. But ultimately, if we would have lost against Villa, no one cares, innit? No one cares about what Pep then said in the press conference. What matters is the results, and the players have to go out and do that. He then said this. He said, opponents reinforce, they get better. They have a dream, a big dream to win something since a long time ago that hasn't happened. We cannot compete with that. I'm not saying Arsenal don't have an incredible history, please, but they're bigger than Manchester City in terms of titles. But there are other tricks and other ways to find the fire inside ourselves and in our team. Individually say, okay, we can still do it. If we didn't have it, we would not be second. We would be far, far, far away, but still we are there. In the good moments and the bad moments, still, we're not a lot of points away. Tomorrow, though, is an important game. In 3 days, we travel to Nottingham to play Forest, and that will be the same points, just like Arsenal. Nothing is going to change much. So I think he's trying to get people up for it and be like, yo, this is a big game that we need to win and that. But he's also trying to just protect the downside to sort of say, look, if it does go wrong, it's not that much of an issue. We go again against Forest and that, and try obviously play it down a little bit and play Forest up, I guess, and try and merge them two together. But make no mistake about it, Pep Guardiola knows just how important this football match is.
He knows what's on the line. He knows there's a lot on the line for this game. So I think he's just trying to he's doing his standard press conference thing, innit? Keep it on the low. Don't hype it up too much. Keeps the pressure off the City players. And do you know what I mean, off himself probably. He's probably but he's more speaking himself into confidence of but Yeah, that's how I imagine it'd be from Pep.
Yeah, no, completely agree. He was then asked about Man United and Newcastle. He said they are there in the title race. When I said there's a lot of points to play, it's not just about Man City. What happens in the next weeks, I don't know. So maybe just keep an eye on them too.
Yeah, that's why I said before, a draw worries me, because if United go on and win, that's I mean, I have a side eye on them, innit? Like.
Yeah, he said his message. Does he have a message ahead of the game tomorrow night? He said, "I don't know if enjoy is the right word. We'll have to be so aggressive. We'll have to handle the rhythm and the pressure. They are going to create pressure. The fans, to referees, players, we have to be active." He said the mentality is there. We're second in the Premier League. The FA Cup, we're there. Champions League, we're there. So we didn't drop much. I have the feeling the difference is because we have a team that made 50 points in the first half of the season in Arsenal. When that happens, it's just hats off, I guess he means. Try to learn and improve to try and catch up. But after what we've done, I don't have the feeling everything was a mess. We were close in our bad moments, and in these moments, we're doing really, really well. But I understand the standards are so high when you compare with the past, and sometimes my decisions aren't good. Always I reflect upon myself when something is not going well. I accept it. We're just in February, though. There are a lot of games to play. And this is kind of what we said this morning, you know what I mean? In the sense that City apparently have had a shit season, which, you know, in our standards we have. Yet we could go top of the table tomorrow night. Like, you know, you have to kind of think about that kind of stuff.
It is a myth how we've ended up in this position. Like, how did I get here? But I don't get it, man. But it is what it is. Like, it's a great opportunity. I'll take it. Take it. I did not expect to be this close at this point, especially a couple of weeks ago after when everything seemed to be going to shit. But things have seemingly fallen in our favour at times. I guess one of the big things is when, as much as we've not capitalised on them dropping points, they don't seem to have capitalised in recent weeks on us dropping points. It's been the same kind of situation. So we're both staying in that situation. Colm says there, you could go behind with a game in hand, which is true. That's true. Yeah. That's the other side of the story.
Yeah. Of course. Erling Haaland did train today. Obviously, he got subbed off at half-time following that dead leg. Obviously, hopefully he'll play tomorrow, and I think he will start tomorrow. But he did an interview with City actually today, and he said this. He said, "My goal is to win trophies. Right now, we cannot think too much about what might happen in May, and I have to think game by game. But win the game on Wednesday. That is my goal. It's not normal to score 25 goals in the Premier League already, of course. But I knew this team is used to scoring 100 goals in the season. For me as a striker, I knew I could come in and score goals. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he's okay for tomorrow. We believe that he probably will be okay." He also said this, by the way, the Premier League is a tough league and a tough competition. Every game counts so much. And when we lost against Tottenham, we were out of everything. And now suddenly we're back in it again. We have to take it game by game and relax a little bit. You do have to take it game by game, but it's hard. It's hard
to not get gassed.
It's hard to not get gassed because, like, you look at tomorrow and you go, if you win tomorrow, then you got this on Saturday, and then you got that the next game. And it's difficult to keep your feet on the ground, but it is important. I guess it's more important for the players because ultimately, like, as fans, we can say what we want. It doesn't really affect the game. I mean, the players are the ones playing, not us. But yeah, I think for the players, 100%, I think it's important for the players to just keep the feet on the ground, look at this game, and just take one game at a time. And if you do that, you never know where you could find yourself.
Completely agree. Plus, then you're not kind of like, it manages your expectations as well, because if you're thinking like 3 games ahead, you don't know you're going to beat these teams in front of you, so you're kind of like wasting your energy on that. And then if you do end up losing like one of the games where you thought, we should win this, then it kind of throws all that off, and then I think it'll be more of a negative impact on it. Whereas take it game by game, whatever happens.
Yeah. No, it's factual. Final quote then, Erling Haaland said this on Odegaard. He said he's such a good footballer and finally he's getting his full potential. He's showing the world how good he is. That's fantastic to see. Of course, Odegaard, we're going to have to deal with him tomorrow. Very good football player. Probably, you know, if we manage to deal with the wingers, which I'm quietly confident we can deal with their wingers, whether or not we can deal with Odegaard, that's the one that I'm
that stinks.
Yeah. Because the thing is with Saka, there's only a certain area of the football pitch Saka can go. So if Ake can deal with him, providing Ake plays, that's fine. And the same with Martinelli and Walker. With Odegaard, If he's playing off the right-hand side and he's struggling, he can just go over the left.
Yeah.
He can push up behind the striker.
He can free roam, can't he? So
he can free roam a little bit, and that's why I'm slightly more worried about Odegaard than Saka and Martinelli, just because of the space that he will be able to probably find tomorrow. But look, it's going to be a mad game. I can't wait. Score predictions, Bray. It's that time of the evening, Bray.
2-1 City.
2-1 City.
I think. I think we'll score. They'll score, then we'll score to make it 2-1.
You know what? If he plays that defence that I just went for, I think we could keep a clean sheet. I really do. But I don't know if he's going to play that defence. If he plays Walker, Diaz, Laporte and Ake, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win.
Yeah, I like that.
I think we can keep a clean sheet from them because I think we can keep Saka and Martinelli quiet. If we don't, fair dues, you know what I mean? Roast ahead, but
Nketiah's in the room, innit?
Nketiah's in the room, but bro, if you don't get the supply of Martinelli and Saka, then you know where's the goals coming from? You know what I mean? Odegaard, but then again, you're just putting the whole thing on Odegaard. For me, I just think that if we start that, for me, that's the thing. When I see that team line up tomorrow at 6:30, I want to make sure that Diaz, Laporte, Ake, and Walker are in that. If I don't, I'll be gutted.
I'll be gutted. Said before, if the centre-back partnership ain't Diaz and Laporte, I'll be so gutted. Surely
you can't mess around with it. This is it. Like,
this is the consistency, bro. This is where it starts.
How anyone can look at that performance in the first half and go, we're not going to play the same team is beyond me. You know what I mean? In terms of like the Laporte Diaz situation, they're clear, man.
Do you think it's pretty mad that like most teams and they have like a good defence? They won't be having this conversation. Like most teams, if they had a good defensive display the game before, or like even just the players that we got, they won't be having this conversation at all because it'd just be a given. It'd just be like, yeah, of course we're going to play these. Correct. But with Pep, you just never know, innit? We've not been consistent all year, so obviously it's hard to think about it. Shamin there, Kate says, what about Diaz and Akanji? Nah, mate. Nah. It's got to be Diaz and Laporte. Laporte has to play.
And especially because if they press us, which I think they probably will, then it's even more important to have Laporte in there. 100%. You got to remember, look at how useless we were against Man United in the defence. And they let us have the ball. Imagine the same situation tomorrow and they're pressing us. It'd be football suicide, man. You can't do that. You've got to have Laporte in there tomorrow. You've got to have Laporte in there tomorrow more than Diaz, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because seriously, if you don't, it could be a horror show, man. If they press us, really, really aggressively press us, and you've got Akanji in there and Ake as your two centre backs. You'll just end up smacking the ball up. You'll just go long every time.
I think it has to be Diaz and Laporte. I see people asking about Stones. Stone's injured until March. Did you say, bro?
End of the month.
End of this month, which is that's decent. At least coming back then. Kieran with a 5 says best 11 tomorrow, please. Pep. No weird Champions League finalist decisions. Plus, do you guys think having Prem winners in their squad will help Arsenal in the running? I think it can only benefit Arsenal having Premier League winners in their squad.
But how many do they have?
2. Gabby and Zinchenko.
Did Jorginho win the Prem?
Yeah. Oh wait, he won the champ. Did he win the champs? Yeah, he definitely won the champs.
I think did he not win the Prem as well?
He must have won a Prem, surely. I feel like he's been there for ages, man.
But, I mean, experience.
Oh, there you go. He won the champs. He didn't win the Prem.
Oh, he won the champs. Yeah.
But
it does. But they've only got 2 players that have won the Prem. You know what I mean? And I don't think Gabriel Jesus is one that will shout his mouth off. You know, getting Zinchenko in there clearly helps. But to be honest with you, I look at Zinchenko over the last couple of weeks, and I actually don't think he's been helping the team. I think they've needed cool heads in the last couple of games, and what he's been doing, Zinchenko, he's been going around passion merchant. I mean, I think
he's passion merchant mode, isn't
he? He is, but I think that's not what they needed in the last couple of games. I think in the last couple of games they needed calm heads. But I've seen him squaring up to people, going up to referees, having a mouth off with a couple of minutes to play. I think what they needed in them games was calm heads, and they got Zinchenko. It's funny because that's what we needed. We needed Zinchenko. We needed his mentality, his aggression, and his passion. We've needed that for the last couple of months. But I think in the last couple of weeks, they've actually needed the opposite. They needed calm heads, but that's by the by. It's not really important. But look, it's going to be a sick game. I think it's going to be a good game. I really do. Both teams are playing passing football. I think both teams will try and win the game. My big question mark is how much do Arsenal go for this? How much do they go for it? Because if they go for it and they win, That is huge for them. I mean, if they win the game in hand, that's 9 points.
It's 9 points if they win the game in hand. So it's a serious bin moment. It's all.
Or do they try and keep it a little bit more tight and say, if we get a point, we
take a point.
It's still in our hands.
Yeah.
So
it is going to be interesting. I mean, regardless of the result, I guess it's still. Oh no, it's not, is it? I was going to say it's still in their hands, but yeah, it's.
No, if we win the game, well, it's in their hands. It's in both of our hands. If they beat us, it's in our hands. But the thing is, if they don't beat us, if we beat them, then it's just not in their hands. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, if we draw as well, it's still in City's hands. You know what I'm saying? So I think for them, a win for them is absolutely huge. You know what I mean? So there we go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because they have a lot of energy. That side has a lot of energy.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's going to be a big one. Massive game tomorrow, as you all know. Live watch along starting tomorrow at 6:30. So get yourself in there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. As soon as we go live, obviously we'll get that team news reaction. Really pick the defense that we're all so much craving. I guess we're all craving that.
I beg.
In Walker, Diaz, Laporte, and Ake. It's going to be a huge one. Hopefully see you there at the watch along. I guess we'll be live tomorrow during the day as well. Maybe some more build up to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mad one. Gonna go live on Twitch, man. Anyone wants to come chill? Going live on Twitch now. Put the link in the chat, man. Got some FIFA, got some tunes. Come and chill out in it. Live for a few hours.
I am also going live on Twitch.
Oh, there you go then.
I'm clashing with you, bro.
You're clashing, bro.
I'm also going live on Twitch.
There you go.
Just doing some stream shit.
Boom. Right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And we'll see you tomorrow. See you next one.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.